Hello and welcome back to a Vonnie.png video. I hope you guys are doing well. Today is the start of a new series called Bits and Bytes. It's basically the drawn and talking videos, but just slightly different. For one, they're gonna be longer, and two, that's about it actually, they're just gonna be longer. And again, it's just going to be things that come to mind. In the future, I'll definitely throw on topics that you guys suggest or things that go on in my life that I want to talk about. But yeah, I hope you guys are doing well. Thank you for the love on my content lately, I guess. I don't know. I do appreciate it. And I'll talk about this later, but they changed the way that shorts work, so we'll get into that. But yeah, let's get into the video. First of all, in other news, I have a new banner. I will put it right here. I absolutely love it. It is simple, but it gets to the point, kind of the vibes that I want to portray / theming. But yeah, I really enjoy it. I think it fits nicely. But other than that, I don't think there's anything else to report as of late, except for, thankfully, I am being consistent with my Ko-Fi work. So far, 2 weeks in a row, I've been doing my Ko-Fi requests, which, aka, I will put a bunch of characters that I'm somewhat interested in drawing on a poll, and then my Ko-Fi members will vote on which one they would like to see for that week, and then I draw them. And that's what's on screen today. I am drawing Amy Rose from Sonic, of course. I have not drawn her in a while, so it was about time to get that in, and I think she came out really, really cute. And of course, when drawing Sonic characters, I typically struggle for some reason when it comes to their face. I want to keep it, there's a way that I like to do it, and there's a way I want it to look. But in order to get there, it takes some struggle. So, but other than that, it went smoothly. Pose pretty simple to get together. It's just a cute little whimsy, not really whimsy, but her looking out at something, whatever. Again, our piece isn't really part of the video necessarily, but just for those of you who like to have something going while you're listening to me yap. But either way, hope you guys have had a good week, a good day. I should be uploading this on Monday, aka when I'm working on it right now. But yeah, first of all, like I mentioned in the intro, YouTube Shorts have been a bit interesting lately. So, I've uploaded 2 this past week rather, and they recently rolled out on the 1st that Shorts are calculated differently. Basically, they include people where they just look at it and swipe away, and some other stuff, so it basically inflates the views, because now if you go into your analytics, there's an engaged viewers, which are basically people who watch it the majority of the way through, and that's the true viewership, I guess, which seems to be on a ratio half. So for example, the 2 shorts that I uploaded this week, the AI art one and then the Amy speedpaint one, they're at 1,000 views, but in reality the engaged viewers are 500, which is what I'm used to when it comes to shorts. Based on what I've been reading, people aren't huge fans of the change. Personally, I don't care, because it inflates my numbers, which means it gets put out more in a way, so it doesn't bother me. But I have also seen people say that they're getting less money, which I don't have experience with that because I'm not monetized. I don't know. Either way, I feel for small creators, it's probably more of a benefit than for big ones. I can guess. I don't know, though. If you have experience, then let me know in the comments. But I know YouTube is such a ever-changing landscape that they make a lot of changes that people don't like. So it's definitely interesting to have one of those impact me in a positive way, at least. Another thing I was thinking about was how the YouTube live streaming is it's just not as developed as Twitch is. Which makes sense because Twitch literally is streaming. But I swear, when I because by the way, I stream and I dual stream. So I stream mostly on Twitch, but I dual stream to YouTube just because it's there. And there's certain things that I wish existed that don't, such as emotes, which I believe emotes exist if you're monetized, maybe? I don't know for sure. Another thing is a seamless way to do commands. What else? Raids. There's technically raids, but not really. It's not like easy to find. That's another thing. Finding other live streamers on YouTube. There's not a proper search. It's just kind of like random AI slop for most of the time, or news channels, so I don't care about. And there's not really a good way to like look for them. And because like on Twitch, for example, it's organized by categories. So there's art categories. There's whatever game you're looking for, you know. So it's easy to find it that way. But on YouTube, if you type like art stream, you're not gonna get art streamers. It's specifically with their title that you would find it on, but then you know, it's just not nice to use as much as Twitch is, which is why it's not like a primary thing. It's just a sidebar. And there are some YouTube viewers, hi, I see you, that only stay on YouTube, which is totally fine. But just it's just not as there's not as much features as Twitch has. So I wish they would improve it. Maybe they would or will, I'm not sure, but whatever, that's a minor thing. Also, I need all of my Sonic fans to kanji on this video because I want to yap about my experience with Sonic the Hedgehog again. As I've probably said I don't know how many times, Sonic is literally the reason why I got into drawing in the first place, which is important to me. And there was a gap of time where I didn't draw them for a very long time, basically from like 2018 to whatever. So my art style has evolved, and since I haven't been drawing Sonic, that specific art style hasn't, or rather how I draw the form and the anatomy of it hasn't been improving technically. So basically anytime I do draw Sonic, it's let me take what I know from drawing humans and then reconvert it into Sonic, which has worked out for the most part, but I've kind of had to break down what I'm used to and not give them such human proportions, but enough where it's comfortable for me, obviously. So in saying that I mentioned about drawing the face over and over and struggling, that has always been my biggest problem, I feel like, because there's a philosophy that I found on Twitter about Sonic's face, or the character's faces really, and keeping it in a circle makes it look proportional, and I've been trying to do that and it's been working really well. So I try to do that, but the muzzle shape kills me because there's something that makes me mad when I see official Sonic art sometimes is that the way the muscle curves and meets with the eye, a lot of times they don't immediately make it like a figure eight. They do like a bump, and it's frustrating The most recent example I found on this was the Sonic Chow comics that came out recently. I will grab a screenshot and show you the bump I'm talking about. It personally frustrates me because it doesn't really make sense, like, as far as it looking good, versus the figure eight type of style. And if I happen to find an example of that besides the drawing here, then I will find one, I'll put it. But this is, of course, an artist issue. People who just enjoy Sonic don't really care about those things for the most part. But your opinions are welcome, by the way. Sorry. But, that being said, I'm very particular about my Sonic art style, and I think it's refined enough, I'd say. Like, I think it fits my arsenal now. If you had my Sonic art up, they would know that's me. And funnily enough, in saying that, a couple months ago, I think, I was streaming one day some art, and I was drawing, I don't know who, but someone new came in and said, hey, I think that, like, they asked me, are you inspired by Sonic? And I said, I am actually, how'd you know? And they said my art style just looks like it, which is funny. I guess thinking about it, my gigantic eyes that I draw definitely don't help my argument. But that is interesting that my OG influence can be seen. And I'm sure a lot of you guys probably agree. And if you do, let me know. And get specific, because I want to know, like, what exactly gives it Sonic vibes. But I don't know. If you guys have, like long-time artists, if you were inspired by something as a kid, let me know if you feel like your art still looks like it's inspired by it. Which makes sense. Like, in theory, it should, especially if it was going as long as mine was, which was like 5 years worth of drawing. Like, the formative years was just Sonic. So yeah, let me know about that. I'm just curious on what. And on top of that, what the heck inspired you to start art anyway? Because I assume it's a video game or anime or cartoons or something like that. So I am curious what inspired you guys to draw, and what inspired you today too. So feel free to put it in the comments. So, who's buying the Switch 2? There's been some controversy about the Switch 2, such as the price. Yes, it's expensive. I understand. But at the same time, though, Mario Kart's looking kind of juicy. I'm such a simple girl. I see some type of customization, aka like the outfits and stuff. I think it's cute. Also, the characters are very stylized, more than usual, which I do like. Everybody looks like Play-Doh. I just want to squish Mario's face. Anyway, I have a Switch. I've had it since 2018. I got it as a year starting college gift for myself, and I've had it since. I do plan on getting a Switch 2 because Mario Kart is like a huge one for me. I know it's weird. I'll put it on Affirm or something. Me and my best friend, we're gonna get it at least. But let me know if you guys are getting it. Definitely understand if it's because of the price you wouldn't get it. Also, I'm big on Splatoon 4 happening because it's Nintendo and they want to make money, and Splatoon is very profitable. It does make me upset that, to be honest with you, I feel like they dropped the ball with Splatoon 3 quite a bit. No third kits. I'm nerding out about Splatoon 3, by the way. If you don't know, I'm sorry. No third kits, even though the previous game had third kits. Weird. I feel like they could introduce more new weapons, more clothes, and stuff like that. It's kind of crazy how it only lasted like a year and a half. And yeah, so Splatoon 4 is definitely going to be on Switch too. What else? The GameCube Virtual Console. That's not what it's called, but I'm calling it that. That's pretty cool. I grew up with GameCube a little bit. I need Sonic Riders on that thing. If Sonic Riders is not on the GameCube Virtual Console, I will rage because that will be an official way to play multiplayer with my friends. Anyway, we're helping. Also, unrelated, pivoting from Switch 2 for a second, we have Mario Kart, right? That looks great. And then we have Sonic Crossworlds, which also looks great. But here's my thing. I have been a Sonic Rider OG since day one. Not day one since it came out, but since I've played it. I love Sonic Riders. I've wanted a new Sonic Riders for a long time. Not free Riders, that was shit. But a brand new Sonic Riders that is back to form, that is fun, that is the charisma and the coolness that the original game had. Sega would make money, as long as they don't ruin it, a good Sonic Riders. And to me, you have these speedy characters who a lot of the time don't need a freaking cart to traverse the world. I feel like the hoverboards is a good way to differentiate it from Mario Kart, right? Those guys being in cars, it makes sense, or bikes, it makes sense. But then we have, what was it, Sonic Racing, the first one? They put them in cars, and I think that makes it more like Mario Kart, and it takes away from any uniqueness or flair that it had before. And then TSR and Transformed, and now Crossworlds, right? So then the promotional art for Crossworlds came out before the trailer, and we saw like it was like the first trailer. We saw Extreme Gear in there, and of course everyone was like, oh my god, it's back. It is back, kind of, but it's not the same. The central focus is not about the riders aspects of the game. It's about the cars and everything else and the traveling through worlds. I'm still salty. I want Sonic Riders. Sega, you're not listening to me, obviously, but if you were right now, you guys should make Sonic Riders. You would make a lot of money. The music slaps. It was fun gameplay. Just bring back Sonic Riders, you know? I'm done with the Sonic in car thing, because that's weird. Either have him running on the ground, or put him on a freaking hoverboard, because Sonic's the cool one. Mario's the... for everybody, man. Sonic's like, ooh, I'm 90s. Like, I need that. Whatever. This is problems for me and me alone. But I just need to hold me over until it maybe never happens. If I can get Sonic Riders on the GameCube Virtual Console, which you can only get with the NSO expansion pack, then I'll be happy for a little while. something that came up on stream the other day was a younger artist asking for suggestions on what to start digital art with. And I think I would like to make a video on that at some point, because I've used quite a few things, not as much as probably someone else, but I've used the range of things that I would suggest, and currently, of course, I am stuck on the iPad, so, which I do suggest that, but there's a lot more ins and outs with that because there's different iPads to purchase, but then it's a matter of which one to pay for, what your budget is, and all of that. So I think soon-ish I would like to make a video on just digital art in general, like tips, how to get into it, let alone blah blah blah, gate of entry, gate of entry, what skill you should be at, and stuff like that. Because I think, especially now, getting into digital art is a lot easier than it was back when I was getting into it. There's so many affordable tools. Yes, I couldn't think of the word. There's affordable tools to purchase, tablets, you know, whether it has a screen or not, you can still do it. Heck, people even use their phone. And there's programs, free or not free. It's a whole thing. And I'm gonna get into it and I'm gonna break it down for you guys, so that way, if anyone has ever a question for me about that, if it is something that is going to be too long-winded to explain, I have a video for you to look at. There's many videos out there already, though, of programs, free and not free, you know, tablets, cheap and expensive, you know, size. There's a lot of factors that, you know, once you break it down, can seem intimidating, but it's not. Budget's the first thing, first and foremost. You know, and if you're brand new, then you really aren't gonna have any biases to brands or anything, so you know, you can kind of just step your foot in and buy something that you feel will be the right size and the right price, and then see how you like it. And of course, if you don't, you could return it, or if you do, you can use it until, you know, years later you want to upgrade and stuff like that. But please don't feel intimidated by digital art. Yes, it's more work involved to get into it versus like picking up a pencil and paper, just drawing. I totally understand that, but once you get into it, you will know if you like it or not. Another thing that was brought up was someone asked me, how do I make my line art so clean? Did they say? I think that's what they said. And to that I say, look, if you are new to digital art, do not worry about things like that, because you need to learn how to like do line art properly to begin with before you start stylizing it and making it your own. Because trust me, when I first started, when I was like 12 and 13, my line art sucked. It was wobbly, it was not stable, nothing. So in order to stylize your line art, you need to learn how to do it. Such as the rule of, if you want to break rules, you got to learn the rules first. That's not for life, that's for art. Don't go breaking rules in life, okay? But yeah, I just wanted to add that in there, as that is something I want to do. And if you do want that, let me know. And if you have any things you want me to touch on in that video, then let me know. I will gladly add it in. you have successfully made it to the end of the first ever Bits and Bytes podcast, I guess. Podcast loosely. It's just a rebranded Drawing and Talking, let's be real. I kinda, I'm glad I'm doing this because I don't particularly love just topic videos. I find them to be overdone. Not targeting anybody, of course, but like so many topics have been talked about that just kind of like, to me, no point to run through them unless you guys just want to hear me talk about something, which I can just splice into a video like this. Other than that, I appreciate you guys watching. Hey, any topics, put them in the description, put them in the forum that I have pinned. But yeah, I will see you guys next week. I appreciate you guys so much. Check out my Ko-Fi if you haven't already. You will be shouted out at the end of the video. And in the description below. And with that, I'm gonna go drink some water. Goodbye, guys. Mwah. See ya.